what we really need to do is we need to reflect on where these beliefs originate. And that can mean going as far back as childhood experiences, all the influential relationships in our lives, the things we learn from our parents, the things we learn from our spouses, the things we learned from coaches when we were kids, from brothers and sisters and, best friends, the people in our lives, right? All of those have more influence on us than we realize. Significant failures, social conditioning, all of these things shape our belief systems about not only ourselves, but the world around us and how and where we fit into it. And so then we need to use techniques, like I started to mention a minute ago, with persistent why questioning. Like, be a 2-year-old, why, 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 right? Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Answer it. Okay. Why? Where does that come from? Answer it. Why? Where does that? Keep digging, keep going, layers of the onion deep, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers deep. And you'll start to really get some helpful answers at that level. And that helps you bring awareness to some of those underlying beliefs. And once you're there, then you have an opportunity to restructure some of those things, and you either continue them, or at least now they've moved from being a blind spot to something that you're consciously aware of. And again, that provides you the choice of, do I want to continue this or do I want to change this? So tracing these beliefs back to their earliest source is really the work that we have to do. And it's hard, right? It takes a lot of time. Sometimes we can do it on our own. Sometimes we need to have conversations with coaches or family members or somebody you trust, or a professional listener, if that means a therapist or whatever, right? So, if we're looking at a step-by-step process here, it would be identifying the belief, right? So you're going to start by pinpointing, what's holding you back? Where is this occurring? It'll show up a lot of times as excuses or why you don't pursue something important, right? Or why you're not going after the things that you want, right? So that's one, is identifying it. Step 2 is the persistent why questioning, right? And kind of 2B or step 3 or 2 part B is, reflect on your life history, right? Reviewing impactful moments or societal messages, conditioning, family upbringing, education, personal failures, setbacks, achievements, even, right? And pay particular attention to the emotions, fear, shame, guilt, desire for safety that may arise when you think about those experiences, and that also may have conditioned your beliefs. And then step 4 is challenge that belief, right? Is it actually true, or is it just a story you've created or absorbed? Right? Consider the logical and the emotional evidence, both for and against it. Right? Really investigate it and put it on trial. This is the scientific method, right? I think this is one of the reasons that I've gotten so good at this. I mean, I'm trained in sciences. I took every imaginable science in college, and I think like a scientist, and that is, we're not trying to prove anything. We're trying to disprove everything. And so if I find something that I think I believe, I'm not trying to prove it. I'm trying to disprove it. How can I poke holes in this thing? And the only thing that stands that test are things that are pretty damn rock solid, right? And so, if you can challenge the things that you think you believe in to the point where they can't be challenged anymore, they're probably pretty true. And I would encourage you, if you're listening still, to get really comfortable challenging what you think you believe in. Also consider how others might see the situation, right? That really accounts for our perspective and any societal conditioning. Would my mom see this differently than I do? If I had a kid, how would they see this, right? And so generationally, we can see things differently too. And so then the final step is, releasing any, emotional energy or pain or attachment that we may have, to those limiting beliefs, right? You have an awareness of it now, and then you get to choose. Do I want to continue to hold on to this thing? Don't get caught up in that sunk cost fallacy. Just because I've believed this for so many years doesn't mean that I have to continue down that path, right? You don't have to carry shame or anxiety or guilt. You don't have to assign those once you recognize, that this is what's happening, right? We all have limiting beliefs. We're all guilty of this um, at some stage and to some degree, right? And the trick is finding them and getting past them so that they don't continue to hold us down or hold us back, limit us, right? That's why they're called limiting beliefs. The better you get at identifying and releasing these, the less you hold yourself back.